oftentimes when it comes to support from the African American community for the Democratic Party, Republicans like Donald Trump would argue that Democrats just pay them off. They just go into these communities, give them money, or do so in the form of welfare programs, and that's the reason why Black voters will usually overwhelmingly support Democratic candidates. First of all, let's just acknowledge how insanely insulting that is to the Black community. But more importantly, let's also acknowledge that it's a classic case of projection because Trump allies have been going into predominantly African American communities and they've been giving them money, literally. And they've been doing so in ways that could be deemed illegal, but it doesn't matter because it's Donald Trump. So illegal campaign issues apparently can't touch him.
It's in pursuit of re-election, which is in the public interest, obviously, as we've found out.
We'll get to that story later today, but let's give you the details of this story reported in Politico. The first giveaway took place last month in Cleveland, where recipients whose winning tickets were drawn from a bin landed cash gifts in increments of several $100s stuffed into envelopes. A second giveaway scheduled for this month in Virginia has been postponed, and more are said to be in the works. So they're literally going into these towns and they're doing these raffles. These Trump allies are holding these raffles, and the organization doing this is listed as a nonprofit that's giving out money as charity because you can't buy people's votes. That's against the law. But this is not a charitable organization. They're listed as one, but their activity does not fall under the category of charitable.
Yeah, so I don't know. I sort of feel weird about this. Obviously, it's condescending and underhanded, and it shows what these people think about these communities that they can try to buy them off. But like they can't literally buy the votes. Anyone there can take the envelope of money and be like, thank you, and then vote for whoever they want. And they did get the money.
No,
so
John, this is illegal. It's illegal.
Well,
what they're doing
is it?
Yes.
No, but clarify the illegality. That's what I want to know.
Oh, you want to know the okay?
I do. Yeah.
First of all,
I'm open-minded.
If you are a charitable organization, you can hold an event on like political issues, but you are not allowed because you have tax exempt status, right? You cannot endorse a specific person.
Yes.
They are endorsing a specific person. Secondly, in order to qualify as a charitable organization, the money that you're giving out needs to be proven to be given to a person who is in charitable need. And that is not what's happening here. Let me give you the details.
Okay, no, you go. What?
Because we hold, like for some reason, like here's the law. Right, this is where you need to be to break the law. But with Trump, it's like he's here, but I don't know. Is he breaking the law? Yeah, this is law breaking. That's what's happening right now. Let me give you the details.
First of all, he is allowed to break the law. Let's just agree there.
Yeah,
okay?
He's breaking the law
totally
every
allowed.
day, all day.
Yes.
He's violating our Constitution. I mean, but it doesn't matter, and that's the thing that blows my mind. I mean, there have already been illegal campaign contributions in regard to the 2016 campaign in the form of hush money payments to adult actresses. Doesn't matter. Let's move on.
That was one of the
freebies. By the way, my frustration is more toward the Democrats who chose not to pursue that. Let me move on.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, top of the list on that.
Can't stand it. The cash giveaways are organized under the auspices of an outside charity, the Urban Revitalization Coalition, permitting donors to remain anonymous and make tax-deductible contributions. So the people donating to Trump's campaign under this charitable foundation then get to turn around and deduct what they gave in their taxes.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Let me give you more. Charities are required to spend their money on charitable and educational activities. It's not immediately clear to me how simply giving money away to people at an event is a charitable act. Video of the giveaway posted to Facebook by the Cleveland Plain Dealer shows Lanier, he's one of the co-founders of this so-called organization, announcing one recipient, Teresita Jones Thomas, then declaring, she don't need the money. A LinkedIn profile for Jones Thomas describes her as a senior director of accounting for a real estate management firm. Her son, Warriors forward Omari Spellman, is set to make close to $2 million this season.
Oh, he's doing well.
So is that enough evidence for you?
Yeah, well, but I think you're responding to things you might think that I'm thinking rather than things I'm actually thinking.
Tell me.
So first of all, I guess just philosophically, in terms of what should qualify as charity, look, that seems less charitable than other uses of your money.
That is not charitable, John.
Hold on, just let me lay out my case before you attack me.
Okay.
I'm feeling very attacked right now. If you were to go into a community of people actually in need and just give them money, how would that not be charitable?
But that's not what's happening. And also,
yes,
if you're doing so while endorsing a specific candidate, which is what's happening here.
That's the biggest issue, yes.
That's the biggest issue.
Yes.
There's two issues. I think they're both big issues. Number one, a charitable organization is not supposed to endorse. They're not supposed to use their charity as a political arm for a candidate, and that's what they're doing.
They get tax exempt status specifically because they do not do that.
Exactly.
Or in theory, they don't do that.
We're telling you this story because I think it's outrageous. Nothing's gonna happen about it, so I'm just getting outraged for no reason. Because Trump is above the law. The goons that support him and do these disgusting things are above the law, and that's the country we live in, right? There is a two-tier justice system. If anyone else did this, they'd be in prison, or they would have to pay a giant fine for using this tax exempt status in order to push for a political candidate. But with Trump, doesn't matter.
No, but see, and it actually goes even farther, because if the IRS was to investigate them and find them, Fox News would lose it. They're coming after conservative organizations. That's what they would say.
One more graphic for you. The group's Christmas extravaganza event in Cleveland last month featured a $25,000 giveaway and an appearance by Jerron Smith, a deputy assistant to the president. At the event, which also featured an appearance by television personality Geraldo Rivera, co-founder Karim Lanier compared the investigative scrutiny faced by Trump to the plight of wrongfully incarcerated black men. He also defended Trump's record on race. So this is the kind of propaganda that they're spreading. But let's just hold on. Just forget about the criminality of what they're doing for a second and just focus on the argument that was made there. They're comparing the weak investigations into Trump's criminal behavior in the White House to what black men have had to face in this country when it comes to our justice system. That is so incredibly gross.
Yeah, a little bit inaccurate too, because generally those black men can't go into their courtroom and be like, I've decided no witnesses, no evidence. I'd prefer if you didn't do that. Yeah, it's a slightly different situation. Also not new though, this is the latest instance of it, but how many times did they call the impeachment inquiry or the Mueller report a high-tech lynching? They kept saying that over and over again, effectively making the same comparison. Don't miss your chance to win a trip to Los Angeles and have dinner with Cenk, Anna, and me. Just head to tyt.com/dinner in LA to register to win. Sign up for a free Aspiration Spend and Save account, register your eligibility, swipe your Aspiration card on daily purchases to gain entries to win a chance to fly to LA and have dinner with the TYT hosts. Not only are you entering to win that dinner in LA with Cenk and Anna and myself, but you're also able to deposit your hard-earned money without it going towards fossil fuel exploration or production. And as a friendly reminder, even if you already have an Aspiration account, you must still first register to be eligible for the sweepstakes.